spotlight video. I am super pumped to bring you this review on one of my new favorite pieces of gear that I've recently added to my arsenal. In this video, we are taking a look at the LD Systems MAUI 44 G2. Video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys the pros, the cons, and everything that you need to know about these speakers so that you can make an informed decision on whether or not these speakers are right for you. So right off the bat, let's talk specs. They pack a whopping 1500 watts of power. Now, a lot of you guys may be saying, that doesn't sound like a lot. My speakers are 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 watts. And what's cool about LD Systems, and one of the reasons why I've become a fan of LD Systems, is because they actually advertise RMS. So that's 1500 watts RMS. And how loud do these bad boys get? These speakers have a max SPL of 132 dB. That'll blow out a eardrum. And something really cool that they've done is that they've added anti-distortion technology. So even when you're playing super loud, when you're hitting those 130, 132 dB levels, you can rest assured that these speakers are still going to sound great. That's honestly one of my biggest deal breakers when it comes to speakers. I generally love to play loud. You know, when my dance floor is rocking, I'm cranking that volume up. You know what I always say, you're not headlining unless you're redlining. That was a joke, by the way, don't redline. However, these speakers do sound great even when you're playing at higher volume. They have a frequency range of 37 to 20,000 hertz, and it's got a ton of other cool built-in technology that to some of you guys you may not be using. Like me personally, I wasn't really using the wireless capabilities that these speakers have. However, cool things to note is that you do have Bluetooth, and you can also pair two speakers together wirelessly using Bluetooth as well. The speaker is actually composed of three pieces. You have two columns and a sub. Each one of these columns feature 6 3.5-inch drivers. That means that this column has 6 speakers and this column has 6 speakers as well. So there's a total of 12 mid-range drivers inside of these speakers. And what's really cool is that the top column, this bad boy right here, you can tell it's the top, by the way, by the logo. And what's cool about this top one, it's that it's got waveguides. So what does that mean? That means that you're gonna have really great dispersion with these speakers. You're gonna get a nice, wide, clear sound throughout. So when you have things like grand introduction or speeches or anything of that nature, you can rest assured that everybody's gonna hear you nice and clear because the dispersion on this is incredible.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome to the beautiful Hilton here in Delaware to celebrate tonight, Gracel and Jarek. Everybody make some noise in the morning moon.
Now, going back to talking about speeches, toasts, and any formalities where there might be any talking and a microphone is involved, something that's really cool with these speakers is, like I mentioned, there's 6 drivers here and 6 drivers here, and each one of these drivers has been specifically programmed. They've been specifically EQ'd by their engineers to give you different frequencies. So what does that mean in layman's terms? In layman's terms, it means that it's really good at reducing feedback because, like I mentioned, you have 12 speakers, each one of them delivering different sound, which isn't gonna interfere with your microphone. Now, in addition to the 6 drivers that you have within each column, the top column also has some tweeters built into the top, so you're getting a full sound. There's 4 tweeters that are placed right here at the top, and then right underneath you have your 6 3.5-inch drivers. So when you actually hear these speakers live, they sound incredible. It sounds like the recordings are actually live. You're able to make out each individual instrument because each speaker is doing different things, and it really gives you that full, clear, crystal clear sound that you would get at something like a concert, because again, these are meant to mimic a large line array system like you would see at a festival or at a concert. However, these are the portable versions. These are not line arrays, these are column arrays, but they sound freaking good. is the MAUI 44G2 subwoofer. It's a 15-inch subwoofer and it packs a freaking punch. Every time I've taken it out to my events and I'm working with my assistants, the first thing they always say is, damn, this thing's freaking bump. And a problem I have with multiple of the speakers that I review, as many of you guys know who watch my videos and you guys have seen my other speaker reviews, one of my biggest complaints is that there's just not enough bass. The speakers aren't punchy. They don't have that nightclub sound that I personally love in my speakers. And you can rest assured with these speakers, you are going to get that. This sub drops down low, it sounds crisp, it sounds sharp, the hits are nice and tight, and it really gives you a nice warm sound. I love the way that this sub sounds. I love the way the entire speaker sounds when it's all assembled. And you can do a lot of cool things with this sub. If you feel like these speakers don't have enough bass for you, you can add an additional sub. So this sub is actually sold separately, so you can have, you know, a full MAUI 44 system, and then right next to it you can add an additional sub, giving you a dual 15-inch sub. If that's something that you want, if you feel like you need a little bit more punch with your speaker, that is something that you can do. So these are sold separately. In addition, you can also use this in cardioid mode. So if you have a second speaker, you can have one facing the crowd and one facing the wall, and it's going to give you a nice punchy full bass. So what you have here is a birch plywood cabinet. It's a very heavy speaker, I'm not gonna lie. I would probably say maybe, you know, at most weighs 60 pounds. It is a little hard to maneuver. However, you do have these aluminum handles right here on the sides. All right, you ready for the most satisfying part of this video? I just noticed I never peeled off this plastic. Oh man, that feels so right. So here we have our control board. It's super easy to use this speaker, not a lot of gimmicks, which I love. You have two knobs here. One is a master control and one is a sub control. So if you feel like you need a little bit more bass, which is something that I personally do, I typically have my bass around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock is a little pushing it, but I usually have mine around 3 o'clock, and I have my master at around 12. On the bottom here, you have your inputs and outputs. You have a left, right, and left, right, out as well, so your through line. On the bottom here, you have a heat sink. Very nice to keep the speaker nice and cool. Make sure you're not overheating. Make sure you don't lose any volume. And on the bottom, pretty straightforward, you have an on-off switch and a power con in. All right, so let's talk accessories. There's some things that you're gonna need to get that aren't included with the speaker. That includes these accessories that you see right in front of me. So first off, you need bags. You need a way to transport your system. You need a way to keep your system looking fresh. I've been using my speakers quite a bit, and you know, I'm not one to baby my gear, and it's already shown. I've already had a couple of scratches on the grill of my subwoofer. I don't know how well you can see it, but there's a scratch already, and this is only the second gig and they're already scratched, so that's a bit of a bummer. So it's definitely a good idea to get a bag. This is the bag, or the cover I should say, for your subwoofer. Pretty straightforward. You just put it right on top and slide it on down. Additionally, you can also get a bag for your columns. These are your columns right here. And the way this works is pretty straightforward. You go in and you drop these bad boys inside of the bag. The bags also come with these foam covers for the pins that are on the bottom of each of your speakers, making sure that they're nice and safe and that those pins don't go anywhere. And this right here is what it looks like inside of the bag. Now, this does bring me to a con. If you remember when I did the unboxing, I mentioned that the bags, they were a little bit sticky. One con that I did notice, and it's probably just because they were sitting, I found these zippers to be a little bit sticky. It seems that it has corrected itself, but when I opened these, man, I thought I was gonna pop this off because they were very, very sticky. And 1 month later, I'm sad to report that the zippers on my bag, on one of my bags, are all gone. Not a big gripe, but I definitely want to point that out. The final accessory that you can also get is this caster board, and it's actually really cool. It looks like a skateboard. It's pretty easy to assemble. Just line this up in the back of the sub. You snap the butterfly clips like so, and then you flip the speaker over on its side and you roll it around. Now that we've covered all the details and all the specs, it's time for a sound demo. Little disclaimer, and I always say this when I do any speaker review, keep in mind that you are not actually hearing the speakers themselves, you are hearing a recording of the speakers. If you want to get a more accurate representation, try to find a place that actually has this on display so that you can actually hear them for yourself. Without further ado, let's hear how these bad boys sound.
My bad habits lead to late nights and alone conversations with a stranger.
Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, something that I've been avoiding this entire video, and that's the price. These speakers are by no means budget-friendly speakers. These speakers are $2,700. So if you're looking to get a pair, it's gonna put you well over $5 grand. And once you start factoring in things like taxes and getting the accessories like the caster board and the bags, you're gonna be close to $6,000 all in on these speakers. And that is a pretty heavy investment. But do I think it's worth it? Absolutely. Yes, I have no gripes with the sound. I have no gripes with anything having to do with the practicality of the speaker. So I think it's well worth your money. And a little story that I want to share with you guys about these speakers. I was actually scheduled to do this review a long time ago. Adam Hall, which is the company that actually owns LD Systems, they reached out to me quite a long time ago. But they told me, hey, we just don't have stock. We can't keep them in stock. This is a hot selling speaker. So if you can get your hands on them, you will not be disappointed. I have been loving these speakers, and you know, it's crazy to say this, but they have actually dethroned my SRX system. Over the past month, when given the option of which one of the two to choose, my SRX main PA system, which I've been using for the last 4 years, or the MAUI system, I've chosen the MAUI system pretty much every time. There's been very few instances where I've still taken out the SRXs, and that is kind of something I want to get into now. Now, these speakers are great, however, they still don't give you that, you know, super loud volume that you're gonna need if you're doing giant halls. So most of the events that I personally do are typically between 100 and 150 guests in small to medium sized rooms, and for that, these MAUIs are absolutely perfect. You know, they're awesome for that. And I'd rather take these out because they're a lot easier to use. They're a lot more portable. They're a lot less heavy. They're just a lot more sleek and modern looking than my SRXs. However, there are some applications where if you're doing super large events, like I'm talking like maybe like 500 people, for those events, I would probably still lean towards getting a traditional PA just because you're gonna get a little bit more punch. However, if you're doing weddings, if you're a mobile DJ, if you're a singer, if you're doing small intimate events, and these are the speakers to go with. The sound is incredible, they look elegant, they look clean, and they just have a ton of features, a ton of modern features that you want in a speaker. So if you were to ask me, Barr, do you recommend the MAUI 44 G2s? And my answer wholeheartedly is yes. They get my endorsement. These are a great speaker. You will not be disappointed if you pick these bad boys up. Thank you, bro, so much for watching this video. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, I'd love to hear them down in the comments below. I'd be happy to help you guys out if you're thinking about picking up these speakers. I'm gonna leave some more info down in the description of this video, as well as places to purchase these bad boys. Lastly, I gotta send a huge thank you to my friends over at Adam Hall for sending these speakers over to review. And I also gotta thank you, bros, for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to smash that like button. Be sure to subscribe if you're new around here, and don't forget to turn on that bell so that you can be notified next time we do another product spotlight video. Until next time, it's your Barr signing out.